Good evening, West Coast Berbice, New Amsterdam, and of course right here on the Quarantine Coast. Welcome once again to another program of Issues in the News, where we discuss the important events that would have taken place in our country over the last week or so. I want to begin by apologizing for my late arrival. I got mixed up with some things in Georgetown and I arrived a little late, so I apologize for that. There have been so many things which have happened since we last spoke. I want to begin by discussing a little the state of the economy. I don't think that we have spoken much about that in a while. Well, the economy continues in its downward slide into deeper and deeper stagnation, with no new investment coming into the country since this government has come into power. There seemed to be an unholy reliance on the oil and gas industry. As you know, there has been disclosures of findings of larger deposits of oil, but we know that that will not begin production and will not begin to generate income and money and economic activity until the next few years. In the absence of that, nothing is happening. Sugar continues to decline. The rice industry continues to stagnate, and I'll speak about rice in particular at a little later stage. The forestry industry is dormant. Construction is dormant. Trade is declining every day. Today, the US dollar has gone to its highest. The US dollar today is now exchanging at 217 for one. The highest it has ever gone. The highest it has ever gone in our history. 217 Guyana dollars for one US dollars. These people have only been in government for 2 years. Not even 2 years. While we were in government, we kept the US dollar at about 200 for one for nearly 15 years. And then it moved to about 203, then 207, and it has been around that area. As soon as they have gone into power, it jumped to 210, and now it is at 217. And there is a great shortage of foreign currency in the economy. The Minister of Finance keeps assuring us, and he gets the Governor of the Central Bank to reiterate and to mislead the country by saying that there is no shortage of foreign currency in Guyana. Any businessman would know that there is a serious shortage of foreign currency in this country. None of the commercial banks have foreign currency in any great supply. On the road, it is also scarce, and that is why the price has moved to 217 for one, because it is simply not available. And why? That is the reason you have to ask. Why is there a shortage of foreign currency? One fundamental reason is that no one has confidence in the economy anymore. So people are withdrawing their money from the system. People are withdrawing their money, and there is capital flight out of the country. People are taking their money out of the banking system and are taking it out of the country as well. So the banking system doesn't have the liquidity to which it is accustomed. There is no great degree of exports, because we are not producing anything. So there is no foreign currency coming into the country. While foreign currency is going out, there is no corresponding inflows of foreign currency into the country. Naturally, that leads to a decline. Of course, with the new laws that they are passing that allows them to go into people's bank accounts that have sent fears down the spine of people, and that has caused tremendous concerns, apprehensions, and anxiety in the business community, causing businessmen to withdraw their cash from the economy. Withdraw their cash because no one wants to buy anything, because they have to account now for where they get the money from. Recall, you have Saru and Soku who are standing by to pounce on people and to investigate them if they spend money. Clive Thomas, the head of Saru, has issued a public statement in which he said that they should investigate the owners of every tall building in Guyana. Can you imagine, in the year 2017, we have a government that treats a majority of its population like criminals and wants to persecute and prosecute its most successful citizens. So if you have a fancy vehicle, an expensive vehicle, or you have a big house, or you have a commercial building that is tall, you become an object of investigation by this government. I have never seen anything so backward in my entire life. Any country that is governed by sensible people would want to encourage its citizens to build tall buildings, to build big houses, to buy expensive vehicles. You would want to encourage that in your country. That is what a government's role is, to facilitate growth, to facilitate development, to facilitate progress. This is a government that hates progress, that is allergic to growth and economic prosperity. So they want to punish, prosecute, and persecute people who are successful and who own big houses and who own expensive vehicles. It is the most ridiculous mentality I've ever seen in a government. And you know where it stems from? It stems from their own failures as human beings, because none of them have achieved anything in their personal respective lives. None of them. They are all a bunch of failures. So when they see you, who work night and day, who take risks and borrow money and pledge your life to the commercial banks and to other creditors, and you manage to do well because you work night and day, you have ability, you have entrepreneurial aptitude, you have initiative, you have acumen, all those good qualities that you have which cause you to succeed, make them look like failures. And rather than accept that they are individual and collective failures in their lives, they want to now prosecute you, calling you a thief, calling you corrupt, calling you a criminal. Because they have no explanation. They can believe that you have initiative. They can believe that you are intelligent. They can believe that you have entrepreneurial skills and that you work hard and that you have a vision. They can believe that you are possessed of those qualities because they are not. So they can't understand it. So when they see you have a big house, or they see you put up a big building, or they see you driving a fancy car, it means that you're corrupt. You're connected to the PPP. Or the PPP gave you a bag of money. Or you're doing cocaine. Or you're doing something that is illegal. That is the mentality of this government. The most backward, uneducated mentality that is in the Caribbean. So your success is a great cause for concern for them. So they are persecuting people. And that is why they are passing these laws to go into your bank accounts. And that's why they have the GRA being unleashed on businessmen right across this country. And they have SARU and they have SOCO to come to investigate you because they want to know what is it that you're doing. They don't want people to be doing well. They want people to be as mediocre as they are. To be as mediocre as they are. Well, different people are endowed and are blessed differently. So some will succeed. And not because they are succeeding means that they are doing something dishonest. People have ability. People have natural ability. There are certain people who will always succeed because they were born that way. There are people who work hard night and day while others are sleeping. And those people will always succeed. They will always be ahead in every society. There are those who will always be ahead of others. The world is made up that way. These in government do not understand that. And when you are ahead of them, and when you are ahead of others, they want to drag you back. They want to bring you back. Rather than bring you back, they're supposed to encourage the others to do as good as you are doing. No, they want everybody to come back and be doing badly. That is the kind of mentality that we have in government. How are we going to progress? And that is why every day, every single day, the country gets worse than it was the day before. Because we have a set of people who don't come out of Georgetown other than when they leave the country. They don't come to Berbice. They don't walk the streets. They don't understand the trials and struggles of the ordinary Guyanese outside of Georgetown. And I'm speaking about Guyanese of all races. And that is why I keep saying to their supporters and the people who voted for them to understand that these people do not have you and your interest at heart. They don't even visit you. They don't even visit you. They stay in Georgetown and then they leave Guyana. They travel around the world, they blow out your money, they go on fancy trips and conferences, and then they come back and they stay in Georgetown. And they go again, and they return. And as I've said to you, they have raised all the traveling allowances and subsistence that ministers used to get when we were in the government. They have raised it about 3 times what we used to get as ministers. Because they want to live in luxury. They can't earn anything by themselves. So they have to live off the backs of the people of this country. And that is why our economy is in this state. Look at the rice industry. Look at the rice industry. The rice industry has problems. They put the rice industry in problems. They destroy the market. Look at where the rice industry was when they took office. It was the fastest growing sector in this country. It was at its peak. It produced the largest, it had the largest production the very year that it came into government. And what has happened since? And comrades and friends, this is not propaganda that I'm speaking. This is reality. Speak to any rice farmer and tell him let him tell you how his life has changed from 2015 to 2017. Let him tell you what his life was in 2015, and let him tell you what his life is now. And then on top of it, on top of weather, on top of the flooding, on top of no assistance being given to the rice farmers, on top of destroying their markets and being unable to find substitute markets for them, this government wants to increase the rates at MMA, the rent as well as the D&I rates by $8,000 and $7,000 per acre. So each rice farmer has to pay now $15,000 more per acre. But not more. They were paying $2,000, they now have to pay $15,000. Instead of helping the rice farmers, these people are driving nails in their coffins. And this is not, I am speaking even their own supporters in places like Litchfield, Belladrum, Seafield, those villages, Hope Tongue, etc. The farmers need help. These are people who voted for them. You could imagine what they will do to other areas where people have not voted for them. At Hope Estate, on the east coast of Demerara, they are doing the same thing. All the rates are going up. Why are you doing that in an ailing economy? Why don't you wait? We had an economy that was booming and we never did that. Because we knew what impact it would have on the industry. Imagine they have passed 200 new taxes on the population. 200 new tax measures. Raised dozens and dozens of licensing fees. Every single license in this country has gone up. The fees have gone up by thousands of %. In an ailing economy, you're raising people's expense by thousands of %, thousands of percentage, but you're increasing their salaries by 5%. What do you think will happen? What do you think will happen if all the expenses, all the taxes, all the fees that you have to pay are being increased by 1,000 and more %, but your salary is increased by 5% only? Are you not getting poorer and poorer every day? Is it not less and less money you have to spend on yourself and your family? That is what this government is doing. We are demanding, you would have heard the opposition leader, we are demanding a reversal of the proposed increase in rates and D&I charges right across this country, not only MMA, But wherever they plan to increase it, we are saying do not increase it. And wherever they have increased it, we are saying reverse it. Reverse it. People will stop producing in this country. People will stop producing. And then we come to the GCOM issue. And I want to update you on that. We are still not better off than where we were when this process started over 1 month ago. As you know, the leader of the opposition submitted a list of 6 names. The president has rejected it. The president's interpretation is that a list of 6 names must only be judges and persons qualified to be judges. That is a totally wrong interpretation. I have written profusely on this matter. I have spoken as well. We had a big event at the Yomanayana. My speech is on Facebook. Please go on Facebook, type in my name, search for my name, and you will see my speech there. Listen to it. I explained in very simple language so that everyone can understand what Article 161 says. It says judges, former judges, and persons qualified to be judges, or other fit and proper person, or is disjunctive, meaning that is disconnected from judges, or other means something that is different from that which is there. Fit and proper person. So not judges, somebody other than judges who are fit and proper. It is as simple as that. If these people don't understand the effect of or, if this government doesn't understand what other means, how can they run a country? Tell me. Or is 2 letters, O-R. Other is O-T-H-E-R. These are not big words. If they don't know what is the effect of or, and they don't know what is the meaning of other, can they run this economy? Can they manage this country? 5 of them are lawyers, and they don't know that. I don't know how they what used to happen. Anyway, the fact is that we used to have judges alone. That is what the Constitution used to say before we amended it. The whole reason why we amended it is because we wanted to put people other than judges. Because we had judges there for 28 years and they rigged the elections. We had judges there. We had a man named Donald Jackson, a former Chief Justice of this country, and we had a man named Harold Bullers, another former Chief Justice of this country. And they rigged every election from 1968 to 1985. They rigged all. And that is why Jenny Jagan said to Carter, I don't want judges anymore. Or I don't want only judges. I want us to expand this pool of people to bring in people other than judges. The president wants to take it back. Well, the Constitution has not been changed. The other than judges is still there. And imagine his name was on the list put there by Desmond Hoyt twice. And as I said last week, Desmond Hoyt was a senior counsel. He sat down with Jenny Jagan and Jimmy Carter. He came up with this formula. And for 20 years, Desmond Hoyt never had a problem. And he's a senior counsel. He never had a problem finding names. He found 6 names on every occasion. They included judges as well as other people. And every president of the day took one from that list. Nobody ever rejected a list. This president suddenly is so bright. He's a soldier, but he seemed to know law more than Desmond Hoyt. This is not military exercise we're dealing with. If it was that, I wouldn't even be speaking. This is law. Who is more likely to make a legal mistake? Who is more likely to misinterpret the Constitution? David Granger, a soldier, or Desmond Hoyt, a senior counsel? You work it out for yourself. Desmond Hoyt produced 4 out of 5 lists over the last 25 years. Desmond Hoyt produced 4, submitted 4 of the 5 lists, and never had a problem. I never heard Hoyt say that the Constitution is unclear. I never heard Hoyt say that the Constitution is ambiguous. I never heard Hoyt say that he had any problems in interpreting what the Constitution requirements are or were. Never. This soldier and his Attorney General, suddenly all manner of problems are arising. Suddenly, the first time that the PNC gets into government, after 28 years, everything becomes so complex. Things that used to be so easy. We never had a controversy like this before. And the Constitution was changed since 1992. No one ever had a problem like this before. The first time they are in government, the Constitution is unclear. We don't know who is fit and proper. We don't know what the Constitution means. All things that used to be so simple have become so complex all of a sudden. Well, as I said, it does not appear that they can win elections freely and fairly. It does not appear so. They are not performing. In fact, they have been an abysmal failure in office. Every aspect of life is declining and going bad in Guyana. Everything. While they are in government. So, and every day, more and more people are getting angry with them. Now, they are putting parking meters in Georgetown. As if the people of Guyana don't have enough problems. We have crime to deal with. We have all the taxation to deal with. We have all the increase in fees to deal with. We have all the economic decline taking place in the productive sectors to deal with. We have a lack of foreign exchange to deal with. We have a lack of investments to deal with. We have no jobs being created to deal with. We have no salary increases being paid. We have sugar and rice declining. We have crime increasing. Then on top of all of that, they bring parking meter. Tell me if these people really want to stay in government, or if they intend to win any free and fair elections. And that is why I am saying to you that we have to begin the conversation about rigging of elections now. And we have to internationalize it, and we have to talk about it right across the length and breadth of this country. And we have to say very clearly and loudly to those who are in government that we will not tolerate rigged elections in this country again. It's only a few thousand people are benefiting anyhow. So the majority of people are going to be on our side. And Guyanese of all races must unite on this issue. Because when the PNC was in government, the Guyanese of all races punished. When flour was banned, Afro-Guyanese couldn't get bread, while Indo-Guyanese couldn't get roti. So it was not one set of people that punished, and it is not one set of people who will suffer again. And if there is one thing that you want for your children, is that you want them to live in a society that is democratic. Democracy is not something you can eat, feel or touch. It's not something that you can place a value on. But democracy is what gives you dignity. Democracy is what gives you self-respect. Democracy is what gives you integrity, where you can hold your head high and you can take positions and nobody can castigate and persecute you or come after your business. No government can come after you because of your views. Democracy means freedom. Freedom to say what you want. Freedom to do as you wish in accordance with law. That is what democracy is. It's a great, great thing to which we cannot place a value. It is democracy that allows you to be respected. It is democracy that makes every politician, every 5 years, come to you and ask you for your votes. It is democracy that makes them treat you with respect. When democracy is absent, all of that goes. And they can do what they want with you. They can kick you, they can trample upon you, they can take advantage of you, and there is nothing you can do. And we know it because we lived it in this country. And we must never, never, ever be prepared to subject ourselves and our children to that again. Ever. That must be a part of our history that we must never repeat. Never repeat. And that is why I am doing so much that I am doing. Not because I want to go back in government. In fact, I don't think I want to go back in government. I am doing all of this to ensure that we have democracy in this land. I could have been sleeping at my house in Georgetown, but I'm here because I want to make a difference. And that's why I chose Berbice. I could have done this program in Demerara, in Georgetown where I live. And instead of 5 hours, it could have taken me 5 minutes to go and come from the television station. But I chose Berbice, West Coast Berbice. I chose Quarantine because I believe that here is where a lot of work has to be done. Because here is where mistakes were made. And we must correct those mistakes. We must correct those mistakes. I will take some calls now. Someone told me a lot of people are looking at this program in North America, and people complain to me that when the calls come in, they don't hear what the callers say. They only hear what I say. So I will try to repeat as much as what the callers say for the benefit of our overseas viewers who normally watch this program. As I said, this program is aired on Facebook where thousands of people in North America and Europe watch it. So it's a well-watched program, and your views when you come on are going to be heard by thousands and thousands of people, both in Guyana and overseas. You will read today in the newspapers also that Bangladesh has sued this government. Recall I said to you months ago that when they settled the case with DDL, that they were digging a hole for themselves and the Guyanese people. That was a case that we could have won. We did not have to settle that case. But because of pre-election promises which were made to certain businessmen, they were forced to settle that case. Now they settled that case and they wrote off billions of dollars in taxes for DDL. And when they did that, I predicted since then that Bank ZIH will also come and ask for a refund, because Bank ZIH paid the same taxes for alcoholic beverages which DDL got a write-off for. You can't give Mary Jane a write-off but deny Jack a write-off under the same circumstances. So Bank ZIH has now sued them for over $28 billion. Now that is only the first lawsuit. There will be another one. This lawsuit is only for the period of 2001 to I believe 2007. You have 2007 to 2017, 10 more years of taxes Bank ZIH will ask for perhaps in another legal proceedings. This one is 28, that one will be about 50 billion. And they don't have money to give Gaisuku. They don't have money to bail out Wales Estate. They don't have money to subsidize the farmers, so they have to raise rents at Riceland rents at MMA. And they will raise the rent in Blackbush soon. They are raising it all over the country because they say they need money. But they're giving away billions to their friends, and now they will be forced to pay billions. The Rhodesia matter that they made us lose when they controlled the parliament and refused to permit the law to be passed. Had that law been passed, we would not have had to pay a cent to Rhodesia. As a result, they voted down the law when I took it. 2 times. The Caribbean Court of Justice waited. The lawyer from Rhodesia said that if we were able to pass the law, they will withdraw the case. They said that to me. I went and I put the law in the parliament 2 times and they voted down. When I explained to them, I said, if you vote this thing down, we are going to lose this case and we are going to lose several more cases that will be filed. Greenwich told me, Carl Greenwich, the same one, told me nonsense. Nonsense I'm talking. Ram Jatan said that the CCJ doesn't run this country. That we are a sovereign country and the Caribbean Court of Justice can't tell the Parliament what law to pass. That is true. That is true. But we must now pay for it. We must now pay for disobeying the Caribbean Court of Justice. Advice. Friendly advice. So, they had to pay 1.2 billion to Dilip Sarjo of Suriname, who owns the Rhodesia company. That is for the Trill drinks. And SM Jalil, the manufacturers of Buster drink, has them now in the CCJ. They have to pay another few billions. Because they can't win. They cannot win. They have to refund billions more to Buster company. Buster drink. SM Jalil is the name of the company. And then Ansa Makar will take them for another couple billion. Another couple billion. And the Attorney General can't win none of these cases. Well, you can't win an ordinary case, more so these which are very complicated. So I say that to you so that you understand what is going on in this country. One of the reasons why we have a foreign exchange problem is because of the anti-money laundering problem that we have had. And why we had it? Because they refused again when they got a little power in the 10th Parliament. When they controlled the 10th Parliament as opposition, they ran mad. They became mad. And that is, all these things have happened as a result of that. You can't even talk to them now. But you are seeing it for yourself. You are seeing it for yourself. And they blame everybody around them other than themselves. They blame Jack Dale, they blame the PPP, they blame me, they blame everybody. They blame the weather, they blame every single soul other than themselves. You see, Basil Williams cussing down the Chancellor, he can't win a case, he can't file a proper appeal. He lost the case simply because he couldn't file the right appeal. Rather than accept his incompetence and error, he blames the judge, he blames his staff, he blames the whole world other than himself. He went to the PNC Congress over the weekend and he told his party supporters that for the first time in 23 years, judges are making orders against the President, the Prime Minister, and the Attorney General without giving them a hearing. Now that is a complete and utter lie. Firstly, no judge has made any order against the President. None. Without hearing him. And you will see my response in tomorrow's newspaper. Secondly, the Attorney General and the Prime Minister are ordinary public officers. There is nothing special about he and Agamotto. And orders can be made. Orders can be made against the President in appropriate cases, ex parte as well. While the President is immune from suit, the President's actions are not. And his actions can be challenged. When they sued under the PPP, when they challenged the grant of radio license, they were challenging Jack Dale's decision. You hear me go and say that they don't have the power to do that? Of course they have the power to sue the President, to challenge the President's decision. We live in a society where no one is above the law, including the President. You can't take the President personally to court, but you can sue him and challenge his actions. You name the Attorney General. Any 2x4 lawyer knows that, other than this guy, Basil Williams. When President Jack Dale had shut down C.N. Sharma, did they not sue Jack Dale? Challenge Jack Dale's action? Of course they did. But now this guy lies to his whole Congress because he wants to pit the people against the judiciary. So that when the judiciary rule against him, he has an excuse. He can go around and tell people, oh, they don't like the PNC. It is not it. They will rule against him because he is incompetent. So that is what this guy is doing. He's blaming, he's laying a foundation to blame other people other than himself. But what he's doing is a horrible thing. The judiciary of a country must never be dragged into politics. It is the independent body to which all of us must go to justice. And the judges there must remain aloof, must remain above political prejudices. That is why they always say the judiciary is independent. This guy is attacking the judiciary. He wants the judiciary only to rule in favor of them. And that is why we have to resist that. All of us. Because when the government starts to take your land and you go to the court, you will not get justice. They have already started to do that. Fortunately, the judges have stood up and said to them they are wrong. And that's how I was able to win a couple of these cases. But if he keeps beating down upon the judiciary every day, the judiciary will become afraid. And the judges will succumb to the bullyism and the intimidation. And that is why we have to stand up and condemn this thing. You saw Ralph Ramkaran wrote a beautiful article. I saw Morceline Bacchus here in Berbice wrote one as well. I have written one which will be published hopefully tomorrow in the newspapers. You who can write, put pen to paper and let your voices be heard. This guy told those people this weekend that as though orders can be granted ex parte or in the absence of the other side against the Attorney General. Orders have been granted like that for centuries under our legal system, which we inherit from England. So there is nothing wrong in a fit and proper case for a judge to make an order against the Prime Minister without hearing the Prime Minister. Nothing is wrong with that. The Prime Minister is not special. In the eyes of the law, everyone is equal. A Prime Minister doesn't have a different standard and quality of justice, or is not entitled to a different standard of justice to you, the ordinary person. And that is why I said on the last occasion, Lady Justice, the statue, is blind. And she has a scale in her hands. She is blind because she's not intended to see the difference between a Prime Minister and an ordinary man. All of them are coming to her for justice. And all of them are equal in the eyes of the law. But this is the wickedness that is going on in our country. And we have to stop it. Let me go to the phone. The phone has been ringing. Caller, you're on the air.
Good night, Mr. Nanalan.
Good night. Where are you calling me from?
I'm calling from West Coast, Bobby.
From West Coast?
Yes.
Yes.
No, I'm saying this. This country have a history of division. And I'm saying no political party can really bring this country together. It takes a spiritual revival to bring this country together. So I would encourage the nation to seek God, because when man become wicked, I want to rule over us in wickedness, it's only God can help us. So I encourage this nation to seek God. A nation that forget God will doom. So that's my contribution.
Thank you very much, caller. This caller has made the point that we are divided as a people and that only God can save us. I believe in God, but I believe that we must save ourselves too. I must depend only on God. Caller, you're on the air.
Hello, good night.
Good night. Where are you calling me from?
Panam, Wim.
Wim, yes.
Yes. You see the same thing where I is now?
What? What thing?
Oh, well, you talk about your life blind.
Yeah, yes.
Every time I'm blind too.
It should always be blind.
We got every time I'm to fish of this country.
Alright, caller. Thank you.
Yes.
Yes.
Good.
The caller agrees with me. He says that under our time the law was blind. Well, the law is always blind. Lady Justice is always blind. If Lady Justice begins to see, then we will have problems. Caller.
Good night.
Good night. Could you raise your voice, please?
Yes, good night. I'm from Woodley Park.
Woodley Park, West Coast, Berbice. Yes.
Our NDC chairman at that.
Aha.
Our NDC chairman at Bath Park,
Yes.
doing a fine job.
Doing a fine. Okay, that's good.
I'd like to commend him for that.
Thank you.
A previous caller last week has made a very bad statement.
Aha.
I feel you should correct it. Thank you very much.
Okay. This caller has called to tell us that the chairman of the Woodley Park Bath NDC is doing a fine job. So congratulations, Mr. Chairman. Continue.
You got me shit.
Oh Lord. Somebody is very happy there at home. Caller, you're in the air.
Good night, sir. Why you take my number for the phone? I want to get on to you when the private plan.
No, I'm not that secret tonight. Tonight is public business. You have a contribution to make?
Why you number to discuss something with you?
Alright, we'll call the TV station, you'll get it. Now this is a program where I am allowing calls so that you can make a constructive contribution. Caller, you're on the air. Oh, we missed that caller. Caller, you're on the air.
Good night, Mr. Nalal.
Good night.
I think Mr. Granger, our president, deliberately know what he is doing.
Well, I would hope so.
I
Really, I would really hope so.
understand the meaning of the word, but he wanted to fabricate something for his own convenience and his party convenience. That is what they are trying to do. And if we allow that to go on, well, we'll go back to where we were in those dark days.
But are you prepared to allow that to continue?
So,
Very well.
we will stand against it.
Good. Well, we are going to have countrywide meetings very shortly, and we will discuss new strategies and how we are approaching.
I think you all need to come in Albion area a little more frequent.
No, we are going to come right across the country.
Uh-huh.
We are going to come from Crabwood Creek to Charity, right across the length and breadth of the coast, and then we are going into the hinterland areas. All right?
Yeah.
Thank you very much, caller. The caller says that the president knows what he's doing and he has his own plan. Caller, you're on the air.
Hey, good evening, Mr. Nana.
Good evening.
Yeah, man, I watched your program for quite a while. You're doing a good job, right?
Thank you, but that's not about me doing a good job. I normally do good jobs and in most things that I do. So you have a contribution to make.
Yeah, man. You know this guy? He lives in Atwin. You must know him.
Who?
He was the IO.
I would have heard of him. No, I don't know him.
Amaya.
Oh, Ramaya. Yes, I know Ramaya.
They coming for Friday night on NCN, right?
What is he saying?
And he, when was election time, he criticized the PVP. He said PVP this, them bad, them are doing back around. Friday night he coming on the television and criticized his own government, who people voting.
No, but that is good. That is good.
And he's talking good about the PVP, you know. And so I call you and I tell you, he said so he's not criticized PVP.
Okay, caller, thanks. It is good that Ramaya is trying to do good. Ramaya has done a terrible job. He has done a terrible thing by misleading a lot of people. So I suppose he wants to cleanse himself. So he has to do penance. So he must sit here every Friday night and undo the damage that he has done to the lives of so many thousand people. Hello?
Hello, good night.
Good night. Where you calling me from?
Calling from Tofu,
Yes, Tupu.
Wildlands.
Yes, I know.
I don't know what the government doing in the public assistance book. I ain't received no public assistance book as yet. Every time you call him,
For the year?
yes, for the year, no public assistance book. Anytime I call him, they say, book is not come as yet. Book is not come as yet.
And when you supposed to collect or Albion?
Whim.
Okay.
And I carry the child, they say carry the child. When I carry the child, they say that no book has come as yet. The year, the month already finished and no for
That's where the community center?
at Wim Ministry of Health, opposite the Wim police station.
Okay, alright, I'll look into it.
No public assistance book has come as yet.
Okay, alright, thank you, caller. This caller is saying that no public assistance books have been distributed by the Ministry of Social Services and Human Services as yet. Caller, you're on the air.
Listen, Allah, good night.
Good night. Sorry?
I'm calling from West Coast of Bobby. In regards to the land and the media matter. Just to inform the farmers that there is a peaceful protest on Friday at 9:30 at the MMA. They are supposed to talk to us on the previous occasion. They refused to.
Right.
And we're hoping that we'll have an engagement with them on Friday. And rice farmers, cattle farmers, crop farmers, all I'm a rice farmer.
Okay.
And I'm encouraging farmers in general to be there so we can voice our concern again and let the world understand what this government is doing, not only for rice, not only for agriculture, but our entire country they are destroying. So again, I'm asking farmers through your program, and you can put a word there also.
Yes, thank you very much.
To be there.
Thank you. All right, this Friday coming, there will be a protest at the MMA office, 9 o'clock Friday morning. Please remember, 9 o'clock Friday morning, a protest at MMA office by the rice and cattle farmers against the intended increase in rates. So please be there. Please tell your friends. Please tell your relatives. Please tell your family. 9 o'clock Friday at MMA office, protest action. And this will be our last call. The operator has signaled me. Caller, you're on the air.
Good night.
Yes?
I said good night.
Good night.
I'm Jason Joey Jagan around this country.
What is that?
I said if Joey Jagan they around this country.
Joey Jagan, I believe he's in Georgetown.
I don't believe so. But all see what happened in this country where he will attack against the utility.
Caller, you don't know Joey Jagan. We're going to talk about Joey Jagan later. Joey Jagan is a far cry from his mother and father. So don't be surprised that Joey Jagan has become silent. They are kicking his father's legacy out of Red House, and Joey Jagan cannot open his mouth and say something in defense of his own mother and own father. Do I have to say more about Joey Jagan? One last call and then I bid you goodbye. Caller, you are on the air.
Yes, Mr. Nalla. Good night.
Good night.
I listened to your program. And
Thank you.
All is doing very, very good.
Thank you.
What I would like to say, these people then, that is running this government, these people then prepare to damage Guyana, you know. They prepare to damage Guyana.
Well, Guyana is not owned by them, doesn't belong to them, it belongs to all of us. So we have to prevent them from damaging Guyana.
Yes, we agree with that. But they are ruling and they are making their own laws.
Well, nothing happens forever. There is an election that will take place, and we have to ensure that they are put out of the government.
Well, we have to pray and beg God.
No, you got to pray and beg God. You got to start to work.
We have to have free and fair election for that.
We have to work for free and fair elections. The last time we had to struggle, we struggled and worked hard night and day for free and fair elections.
And the chief stooge,
Alright?
stooge, stand up with them to win the election.
Okay, caller, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, all right.
That was our final call. So once again, I want to remind all rice farmers and cattle farmers occupying MMA lands. There is going to be a protest at 9 a.m. this Friday at MMA Onvawat. Please be present and show your solidarity. I may be there, I'm not sure, but I have been there already at the first protest, and I have expressed my solidarity, and we in the PVP stand firmly with the farmers, and we are calling upon the MMA to reverse the intended increases in taxes and rates. Reverse it. The farmers cannot afford it. Thank you very much, and this is where I have to bid you goodbye. Have a safe week until next week, and we see each other again. Thank you.